Whose idea was it to go away for 2.5 weeks over Christmas? This preparation is unhinged. I'm not having a good time. Hi, hello, my name is Allie. I'm an independent graphic designer coming to you from just outside Toronto, and this is my channel where I talk about what I'm knitting, how it's going, and what it's costing me. And today I want to share with you the absolute mayhem that was my life for a couple of weeks because of YouTube. Well, sort of because of YouTube, sort of because I recently got back from a big trip. My whole family went on a trip to Vietnam. Some of my family is Vietnamese, and so this was a big sort of like homecoming family trip, huge thing, everyone saving up for a long time. It was an amazing time. It did make the YouTube schedule a disaster. And so I'm hoping that today you are down to do a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of a few different days in my life as I was going through the process of trying to get videos prepped in advance. I'm gonna need you to forgive me for having my Christmas tree up still. I've been so dead. Did you know jet lag's bad? Who knew? As for my mug and tea of the day, this is a new winter dog mug that I got for Christmas. Family knows me very well. And out of it, I'm drinking my favorite Sloan Classic Earl Grey. Black tea is like not really a thing in Vietnam. Anytime I would try, it was like everywhere had like the exact same one brand's black tea. Like it was no more specific than that in flavor, and it's like, it's fine, you know? But like in Vietnam, don't drink black tea, drink Vietnamese coffee, especially with condensed milk. So good. Did mean that I was very excited to be drinking those when I got home. As for what I'm wearing today, this is my classic rib by Pernille Larsen. This is a pattern that fits bust sizes from 30 inches to 58.5 inches. And I finished this in November 2023. So since then I've worn this 21 times. And if we take our total project cost of $104 Canadian divided by those 21 wears, that puts our current cost per wear at $4.95 Canadian, which already within a pretty reasonable realm to me. Before we get into the vlog, I want to tell you about our sponsor for today's video, Craftsy. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative, an absolute treasure trove of classes and inspiration for crafty people who want to keep learning. Especially if you're feeling the new year fresh start energy right now and you need somewhere to channel that energy into. If you want to take up a new creative hobby or just level up the one you've already got, Craftsy classes have step-by-step instruction, downloadable resources, and award-winning instructors who make it fun and simple to learn something new. I've talked about Craftsy before, so you know Edie Ekman got me thinking about pattern writing and really got some gears turning, so stay tuned for more on that in the near future. Jill Draper taught me about seeing a skein of variegated yarn and actually having some understanding of like how I might make something that works with that yarn and the way that it's dyed instead of working against it. There are also a couple of different classes on techniques for stash busting, which I'm eyeing up right now. There's Stash Busting, Make the Most of the Yarns You Have by Clara Parks. And there's also Stash Busting Secrets for Sweater Knitting and More by Sally Melville. I've been knitting long enough now that I'm kind of starting to accrue that stash of leftovers, and I would like to start thinking about what to turn it into that I will actually like. Famously picky over here. So I think one of these classes could really be a great way to start figuring that out. If you're interested in trying Craftsy out too, the first 1,000 people watching this video to use the link in the description will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Offers valid for new members only. Thanks so much to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. And now let's go back to before my trip. Let's do the time warp.
I'm starting to feel like I should be vlogging this whole thing because oh my god, like it's just pure mayhem. And it's weird because like I want to address it in like the channel videos that I'm recording, except that I don't want to acknowledge in a video that's going to be live while I'm away, like, hey, I'm prepping to be on vacation, on the vacation I'm on right now while you're watching this video. Bad internet safety. So why do I think it's a good idea to be trying to record this while the whole premise is that it's like a mad dash to try to get these other videos done? I don't know, here we are. Anyway, the current state of affairs is that, and I need to look at my calendar. I can't even like keep it all in my head. Today is December 2nd. A video goes live on December 6th. I leave the following weekend on Sunday the 14th. So that means that I need a video that's going to go live on December 20th while I'm away. Get back on January 1st. And my next video is due on January 3rd, which is 2 days after I get home, and like I don't get home until like the end of the day on the 1st. So where I'm currently at right now is that all 3 of those have been filmed. I filmed the last one last night, which I was not expecting to. I had previously filmed the one that's going up this Saturday last Thursday. So to film on a Thursday and a Monday is very close together for me. And I had no notes put together at all. I was thinking that I would end up filming this weekend, but then I was talking to my boyfriend, who I I need him to leave the house so that I can record, pretty please. And just looking at schedules and what the options were, it was like, okay, I guess I'm recording tonight. I guess I'm throwing together notes to suddenly film my everything I knit this year, which is also imperfect because everything I knit this year, it was only December 1st that I was recording that on, and there are a couple of little things that I am planning to have knit before the end of the year, so that means that I'm going to have to record a later small segment before I go, but like it'll be much shorter. And like if I can get 95% of the video filmed and edited and ready to go before then, that will be much better than if I tried to suddenly film it all the day before I leave.
This also even caused me to create this like Kanban board to try to keep track of these things. So this format made a little bit more sense when the videos were in various stages. But so everything is now under editing. I'm very much looking forward to moving winter knitting plans over here, hopefully very soon. But yeah, I had to create my own whole like project management thing to make this happen, which is not something that I've ever needed to keep track of YouTube. So that's the dire situation.
The video that is going up this weekend is my winter knitting plans. The video going up next on the 20th is going to be the everything that I knit in 2025. And then the one that's going up right after I get back on the 3rd is one that I actually recorded that before the other two. So I recorded that one, I think like 3 weeks ago to kind of get a head to start on doing all this advanced prep. So that video is graphing all of my knits. So that one's in a funny place where I have been kind of like in little tiny pieces, cutting that one over time, like in between working on the videos that were actually going to be going up live every other week. So that is now entirely cut, but I haven't made the actual like nice looking version of the graph yet because I need to first take photos of each of my knits. So that video is kind of stalled right now. Also, that one is tricky because I do have a sponsor lined up for that video, but they don't have their brief ready yet for January because it's only the very beginning of December. And I asked them, like, do you know when you will have that brief? Because like I kind of need to get this done before I leave in the middle of December. And their estimate is mid to late December, which doesn't work super well because this is a sponsor that I've worked with before a couple times and the brief has always been very similar. So I'm like, can I just record my best shot at what I think that sponsorship will need to be? And odds are it will get approved once I receive the actual brief, and all I would actually need to do very last minute is pop in like the particular link and QR code for that month. I'm not planning to bring my computer on this trip, so I might have to figure out Adobe Premiere on my phone. I don't know. That's a thing I still need to figure out. The winter knitting plans video is very nearly done. I sent that one off for sponsor review today. So from here, I just need to make my thumbnail transcript review and compile all of the metadata for the video notes, like linking to all the things, crossing fingers that nothing comes back from the sponsor needing to change. But now, because I recorded last night, I gotta start all over again, editing the everything I knit this year. Oh my God. I really enjoy doing YouTube, but I usually enjoy doing it on the schedule that I deliberately set to be bi-weekly. That gives me time to like record it and then have a couple of weeks to work on it at my leisure as I'm feeling in the mood to do it, and trying to work ahead to have 3 videos queued up. It's not leisurely. So stay tuned to see how much I regret these life choices. But I also know that if I didn't do this, I would regret it when the algorithm tanked my channel for not posting. So here we are. And also, other fun part about this is I've just been mucking with my schedule more this week because I'm self-employed as a graphic designer. I work from home. I kind of like live and die by my schedule. Like that's the thing that keeps me on task and actually being productive and not just like deciding not to work today. So usually I really try to avoid letting YouTube interrupt things, but so many things are going on and I need to get them done by specific dates again so that sponsors have time to review things before they go live. So like I'm kind of stealing an hour in the middle of my workday that I'm gonna have to work an hour later tonight, and I'm gonna be grumpy about it later. These two are helping. They're working so hard.
Okay, now I'm working on photographing all my knits for my Graphing All My Knits video, hanging out with Good Yarn Bad Knits. This is also, well, that's the back. This is also going to be helpful for me for my style book stats of how often I wear things, because I have been very lazy about photographing my knits. It's very hard to get this laid out using just one hand. So it is now Saturday, December 6th. My latest video just went up this morning, my winter knitting plans, and I am just starting to edit the next video. Hello, good morning. So it is Thursday, December 11th, which means that yes, things have been so chaotic that I've just been low-key forgetting that I was supposed to be filming little clips for this. But it's first thing in the morning, it's 7 a.m. I am going to make my tea. I'm gonna open up my advent calendar because it's David's Tea advent calendar season, and I'll fill you in on where we are now. All right, so I have my tea. So where are we today? Also, sorry if you can hear a bunch of bashing. That's Copper rolling his food ball around. So I took those pictures and I isolated them for the backgrounds, and I popped them onto the graph, made all the different variations so it pops in one by one for each knit. Once I did that, because I'd already had the placeholders in my video editing, I'm not entirely sure that I'm happy with how and when they appear. Now I'm okay, it's not super obvious which one is added when it pops up at the same time as the new piece is added. So I either need to have the old version there first, or maybe add some sort of highlight behind an item on the slide where it appears. I don't know. So that's more work for me that I need to figure out. Also, since I last recorded a check-in, the winter knitting plans video went live, got the sponsor approval, no problem. That was all good. I have indeed drafted a sponsor script for the sponsorship that I don't have a brief for yet, but that I think I know what to expect. So I'm going to film that hopefully today. I'm hoping to film the last check-in for my Everything I Knit this year, because I have finished one of the two things I was planning to finish this year, and I'm 99% of the way finished the other. So I'm hoping that I can finish that today and film that segment for it. And while I'm filming that, I will also film that sponsorship segment for the other video. So I'm hoping that I can get all of that filmed today, but when is the question? It's a work day. So I'm about to start work. I'm also hoping to get to yoga class today. My regular schedule the last few months since I started going has been 4 times a week. I decided that in the mayhem of the last couple weeks, I'm allowed to only go 3 times a week, because I don't want to get out of the habit of it, because for me, it being routine is what keeps it happening. And going away at all is a threat to it that I'm concerned about, because consistent physical exercise is a thing that has been historically really hard for me to sustain, and I've been doing it really well for the last few months, and I don't want to break it. So I've scheduled a pause on my membership while I'm away that will automatically resume when I get back. So if I don't go, they will charge me anyway. So hopefully that will help. But I would really like to get to yoga today, because this week, I don't even know if I'm gonna manage the 3 times. And there's a weird thing going on right now with my pass, where because they paused it, I still have some class credits I can use, but I can't apply them while booking just myself online. So I just have to show up and I'm already eating. I just have to show up, and then they book me in for the class, and it being on my calendar is what gets me to the class. So TBD if I can manage to get there without it being already booked on my calendar. We'll find out. But also, if I'm doing that, when am I filming? Tonight after work, I basically at 5, I need to leave. What? Oh, sorry, but Trevor's having a crisis wherein one of his kibbles has ended up under my desk. Okay, Copper got his kibbles, not to worry. But yeah, so I have to leave basically as soon as I'm done work if I go to yoga. If I don't go to yoga, that buys me a little bit more time. But I think most likely, maybe I can get my last knit finished. I just need to make a pom-pom and attach it. Maybe I can do that before I go to grab some poppies, and then I will need to film when I get back, which will probably be 9 p.m.-ish, which is not my favorite time to start recording, but at least it should be quick. So the problem with recording that late is just that once I have footage, I really kind of want to edit it. And I'm really going to need to resist the urge to stay up super late today editing that new footage. Copper is upset because I put his cone on him. He's fine. He just has a bit of an itchy belly, has some razor burn from getting shaved for an ultrasound. Again, nothing concerning found, but he's unhappy about it. Here's a check-in on that status board. So I have also done some thumbnail creating and some transcript review in the time since we last checked in. So I will have to go back in and review some extra transcript when I pop in the sponsorship in the ranking all my knits, and also just all of the things that I haven't recorded yet for my everything I knit. So I'll have a little bit more content that I need to generate transcripts for and review, but it is mostly done now. While I wait for Copper outside, I also usually, while I'm reviewing my transcripts, is when I start collecting notes on all the links and stuff that I need to pull for my metadata. So I went ahead and I've collected all of that, pulled all the links together, so I have my like video description box basically ready to go. And I just need to add in the timestamps for like the little chapters in the video, again, once all the final pieces of the videos are added in, so I actually know what those timestamps will be. Okay, it is like 9:15 and I've kind of hit an awkward point with work where, because I'm gonna be away, I've been trying to carefully manage not taking on more than I can get done before I go, but it means that I don't have a lot on my to-do list right now, and the things that I do have left, I'm waiting for people to get back to me on things. So I'm thinking that instead of finding more things to do and therefore creating more open loose ends I'm gonna have to tie up before I go, maybe I should just mess up my schedule a little bit today, which I don't love doing whatever I want during the day and putting off work to the evening, because that's a good way for the work to end up not happening, because by the evening I'm like, it's not work time. I don't want to be doing this, but I might need to make an exception today. I'm kind of, I think the thing is that leaving for my trip is going to force me to put that time in eventually anyway, to again get everything wrapped up, get everybody working files who needs access to stuff before I go and all of these things. So that's a long way of saying I think it's time to make a pom-pom. So I just pulled off the blocking mats, the golf club cover that I made, which I think is super cute. I'm so happy with how the plaid turned out. So now it just needs a little pom-pom on top. So let's do it. So this is the Shelterwood Fiber Co. like dark gray brown color that I used in this, and it's also on the ribbing, and we're gonna make pom-pom. How does one know when it's enough to make a pom-pom? I don't know. I don't think this is an exact science. Let's do more. I don't really have any other game plan for this yarn in the future, so I have no reason to be conserving it. All right, here's our wad. Now I need to create my tie for it, which I'm going to leave long so that I can use this to connect it to the cover and have an end to weave in. I will link to the tutorial that I watched right before I started this, just to give myself a refresher on how to do this. But basically you just wind it around your hands a bunch of times and then tie a string through the middle so it makes like a little bow tie shape. Do that up real good. Nice and tight. And okay, so I've got my tail to connect it with. And now the fun part where we cut the little bow tie shape open. Now, scissors, these are hair scissors. I'm using deliberately very sharp scissors for this, but arguably too sharp, given that I think I just gave myself a very surface level, but nevertheless a very small cut on my finger. Okay, so I'm just trying to catch any of the little loops that I might have missed. A lot of layers here. This is a substantial pom-pom, I do believe. So I'm not doing any of the complicated ways where you like make a cardboard template and all of these things, because I didn't want to. We're on a time crunch. I'm trying to keep this simple. I'm trying to fight my perfectionist ways. It does just mean that I need to kind of give this a bit more of a haircut than I might have otherwise if I had done it through one of the more like precise methods. But I don't know, I feel like it's starting to look like a pom-pom. It's so sunny in this room right now. At this time, at least this time of year, the time of day changes throughout the year as, of course, the sun's schedule moves, but wow, it's hot in here right now. Oh no, are you coming undone? Oh no, what's going on? It's just not tight enough. I felt like this was really tight, but now it doesn't seem super tight in the middle, so I'm gonna tie it around once more, just to really try to cinch it. Now we give it a haircut. much smaller do I feel like this? Okay, yeah, I can make it a bit smaller just to like even it out a bit, but it's not like comically ginormous. I don't feel like I need to really trim it down a lot. I feel like a hairdresser right now. I hope that Elizabeth is knitting as proud of me in this moment. How do you feel about this pom-pom? Is it too much? Is it just enough? I mean, I feel like golf club covers are like supposed to be a little bit silly, right? Like, why is there even a pom-pom on it? I feel like that's good. The one downside is that I need to pack this with me on our trip because Christmas is happening while we're gone. So one more thing to add into my suitcase that I am packing to be traveling carry-on only. So, you know, that's a fun time when you're also bringing Christmas gifts. But I think we're good to go. I'm gonna sew that in now. Hi, Copper. What's up, bud? You just come to complain to me about being in your phone? I know, dude. I'm sorry. All right, let us thread on our pom-pom. All right, here's our our mock-up. Now I just have to get this flipped inside out and weave in that end. Aren't the floats kind of like cute? It's just very regular until you get to the parts where like, oh, I had to like move up or down a row so it's diagonal, but most of it is like so nice and pretty. I don't think I just want to weave in these ends because the pom-pom has some like weight to it. So I think I'm actually gonna do kind of like a weave in under some ends around the top and actually do like a knot there to like really secure it. And then once I'm satisfied that it's secure, then I will weave in the ends just to like hide them. Actually, I'm not gonna trim this tail just in case this for any reason does come off. I'm just a bit concerned about how heavy it is. So I'm just gonna tuck the tail down behind all the floats, but so it's still there in case I need to reweave this in later. Let's flip this buddy back right side out and see what we got. Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay, now how do I feel like it's attached a little bit loose? It doesn't feel like that from the inside. Ugh. Okay, I feel like that seems better this time. Yay! Yay! Okay, do we need any last? Okay, this guy looks a little rogue. Alright, I think, oh, maybe this guy. Now I find all the little stray bits. Alright, I think we're good. I think I just need to throw together some notes so that I can record the actual everything I knit this year portion. Also make myself look more like main video version of me, and then we'll be good to go. But this is my last knit of 2025 to finish. Ta-da! Also just check the forecast and it's cold outside. In addition to the much snow that's currently on the ground, it also feels like -17, which considering how very sunny it is, like my god, if that sun goes behind a cloud, it's gonna be so much worse. So -17 for the like 80% of you who are American, it's 0 Fahrenheit. Super fun. Copper and I have that to look forward to later. Amazing. Okay, it is like 9:40 now, so I do not have time to actually record myself talking about those things because I have a meeting at 10, but I'm thinking if I can get my makeup done now, that will get me closer to being ready to record later whenever that is. I'm still not sure if I'm going to yoga, but I can do like most of my makeup and it should be fine through yoga, and then I will just like the lipstick and whatever needs to be touched up later and I'll still be closer. So let's get ready. I guess we're doing a get ready with me now. This, for the record, is not my preferred liquid eyeliner, but my preferred one is packed already for travel. So this is just one that I've got that was given to me. My current main one is from Stila, but I truthfully, like ever since we found out that Kat Von D is like a neo-Nazi, I've been struggling to find something that is as good as her tattoo eyeliner. I've been cycling through all kinds of different brands, but to get the combo of like, comes out with crisp, perfect black, like flows nicely, don't have to go over it a million times to get a thick line, but also doesn't smudge at all throughout the day ever, is kind of tough sometimes. So if you have a recommendation, please let me know, because if you have a recommendation and it happens to be one that I haven't tried, I'm very curious. Also, my eyeliner tip, if you're used to like pulling your eye like this and drawing it, but then as soon as your eye goes back to normal, you can't see your liner the way you want to, If your eyeliner shape changes when you open your eye, you need to draw it with your eye open. And then you can kind of like smooth things out to fill it in better, but you need to draw that line with your eye open. It will change your eye. Really, I think I'm just hoping that by recording footage of me talking about going to yoga, that will be the accountability that I normally have from it being on my calendar that will make me actually get there. Okay, so this is basically it minus the red lipstick, but that will come later. Okay, meeting over. It's 11:05. I have to leave for yoga soon. I'm gonna go, even though I have another meeting at 2:30, which is awkward timing by the time I'm back from yoga. I have to wait to walk Copper until after the meeting. And we're gonna see, maybe I can squeeze in his walk in between if I'm really efficient getting home from yoga. I'm just gonna go about the day. You will see how it turns out. Nothing like a full parka before I run inside to yoga. Why do I live where the air hurts my face? No alligators, no earthquakes, no hurricanes. No alligators, no earthquakes, no hurricanes. Wish me luck. About a third of the way through class, I remembered that I have takeout leftovers in the fridge that I'm really excited about, which is great news for me now, but made for a really slow feeling class because my stomach was growling for it the whole time. So I think that makes my decision for me if I order reparations. We don't have time to squeeze in a Copper walk right now. We're gonna have to do that after our next meeting. Let's go eat some lunch. It is 3:30. I have done some work and finished my meeting, and this little creature and I are about to go for a you-know-what. Don't be confused by how miserable he looks right now. That's just because I just put his boots on him, which he does not like. But I'm anticipating a lot of salt out there on the sidewalk right now, so he'll be happy about them in a few minutes. And also, literally the second that I open the door and he sees the outside world, he will forget that he has boots on, and he will go from looking like this to looking like he's having the best time of his life. We're back. It's been about an hour. I do not think that I have enough time to do any filming before I go to Grims and Poppies, so I'm just gonna go try to vlog a little bit more work. I'm supposed to do another, I think, like hour today to hit my quota, so try to get that done hopefully before I leave, and then I guess filming is a later tonight problem, as I was hoping it would not be, but here we are. Okay, time to head to Grims and Poppies. I did not actually quite hit my work quota for the day. I needed about another half hour, but traffic is trafficking. It's time to leave. I gotta go. So I will, I guess, finish that tomorrow. I won't be very thrilled about that tomorrow, but here we are. I need to make a couple of pit stops also on the way to Grims and Poppies. Shout out to Grams, who's almost definitely watching this, the one who got me started knitting. Yes, so I need to go pick up some meds for Copper at his vet, and we also need to stop at ATM. So many things, so little time. Okay, our errands are done. Let us continue on for some home-cooked dinner. And I got back home from Grims and Poppies with leftover enchiladas and apple pie. Sweet deal. I know what I will be eating until I leave. Here's the thing though, now that I'm home, I'm so tired. It's 9 o'clock. I'm like in a food coma right now. Can I muster the energy to film? If I don't film, why did I put makeup on today? That was such a waste. I think I'm going to like start trying to get things set up to film, and I'll see by the time I'm set up how I feel. If I don't feel up to filming, at least I'm closer to being ready to film tomorrow. But sometimes once I start moving and start doing stuff, I start to feel up to it. So fingers crossed that some energy magically manifests in the next half hour or so. Okay, I'm here. We might as well film this thing. Okay, I filmed my segment. It took me 21 minutes. We'll probably edit down to like 5 minutes, so I always feel like it takes me a little bit to like get warmed up in the videos, and I think I start to like move faster through my recording the further in I get, because this was a short one. There wasn't a lot of time to get further into it, but we got it done. So I'm gonna go get ready for bed now. We'll see if I convince myself to get anything else done before sleep, but at this point, there's kind of a risk that if I start doing that, I will be up until like 2 in the morning. Should I try to get my last like half hour of work done that I should have clocked earlier, or do I just let that be a tomorrow problem? I think I will like open my email, check my messages, and see if any like little request has come in that I feel like up to doing that will only take half an hour. Maybe that will decide it. So first I need to dismantle and put away all of this stuff.
Okay, we did it. I logged my last half hour work, so that's finished. And it's 10:30. Should be going to sleep. I usually am trying to like be reading, trying to fall asleep by 10:30. Kind of want to start editing this footage though. It shouldn't take long. Also, famous last words. Do I dare start something tonight? I just remembered that I was also supposed to record my sponsorship slot for my other video while I was doing that. Well, I had everything set up to record. This means that tomorrow I'm gonna need to get set up again and be like video presentable again and record again. It's just so annoying because it's the difference between like I could have gotten it done in like 5 minutes while I was already recording, but now I'm gonna have to start over, set everything up, but it's gonna make it be like a half-hour process instead of a few minutes. So love that for me. I only realized this because I was all excited to go like check off having recorded this off of my little like video planning board that I showed earlier. I was about to open it and then I like had a vision of it and remembered that part of it was also to record that sponsorship slot on the other one. So checking this off is gonna be a little more bittersweet now than I thought 30 seconds ago. I would also like to go on record as saying that I'm now having the problem where I actually would like to be editing together this vlog. That's the part that seems the most fun and appealing to me right now. That's like literally the lowest priority. Like this doesn't even need to begin to be thought about being put together until after I'm back. So resist the intrusive thoughts. Good morning. I'm just waiting for the kettle to boil. I have no idea what today is going to be like because we have a bit of a wild card. So a couple of days ago, Copper went for an ultrasound on his abdomen. Fine, except that they had to like shave his belly to do that, and it's been kind of like itchy and bothering him since then. And then last night I noticed that it was looking sort of dubious. I checked again this morning. It's not worse. It might be a tiny bit better, but like, I'm not sure. So I took a picture of it and I've sent it to his vet. It's 7 a.m. They're not open yet. We'll see what they say when they see it and get a chance to take a look. But now I'm like, am I gonna end up having to like take him to the vet today? So like best case scenario is they say is totally fine and normal, just keep him in the cone and keep him away from it, he'll be fine. Medium case scenario is they tell me, let's give him this antibiotic to be safe, like you can come pick it up and then I have to go get it today, which is just annoying because I was at the vet literally yesterday picking up his like standard like allergy med. Worst case scenario is they're like, we don't like the look of that, can you bring him in? Because that really throws a wrench into my whole day. And also, this is the last business day before I leave, and I would really love to feel like he's totally fine and this is resolved and there's nothing to worry about before I go. So I really need this to not become more of a thing. Wish us luck. Copper's very high maintenance this week. Anyway, this means I had been planning to try to go to yoga today, but it's in the morning, like the one that's not a kind that I hate. There's a lot of sort of like, oh, like ab workout, what I'm like, I don't know. I just want the like sort of classic, like more balanced class. I don't know if I should go because it's too early in the day for me to necessarily know how much of a mess my day is going to be or not be with Copper vet stuff. So I'm like, maybe I should just reserve that extra time in my schedule, so like be working through when I would be in class instead, so then I have more time this afternoon. I don't know. Really, I'm just gonna cross my fingers that they happen to reply to us like immediately when they open at like 8:30. Also, I just settled into work. Copper again has his food ball, sorry. But I forgot to mention that, so last night I edited maybe like 3 minutes of video, and then I was just like so tired, like my eyes were closing, and I was like, okay, fine, I will just get to sleep at a decent time. It was like 10:45. And I was like, maybe I'll get up a little bit earlier in the morning to try to get a little bit more time that way. So I set up for 6:30 this morning, which is like an hour earlier than I usually would. And then I woke up like a minute before my alarm. Like my brain just knew it was ready. And I was like, that's weird, because again, that's early for me. But I think that's just kind of the it's just one of those weeks where like I know there's a lot going on and there's a lot I have to do, and like when that happens, and like I think my brain is like never fully asleep. It will like wake me up in time for like important things and whatever, and apparently this is important. Okay, it's 9:55 a.m. I've just been working away while also being slightly anxious about the whole copper vet situation, but I just got an email back from them. They didn't sound super concerned. They said like, you know, if the lesion is bothering him, like we can prescribe this thing that's sort of like a ointment. It's like a whatever, it's not important. Anyway, point being, it's just sort of like I would rather do it because it's better safe than sorry, and hopefully get this spot like looking better before I leave. I don't want to leave it for a few days and then feel like, oh, it's not getting better, now we should give him Neumann, now that I'm like in another country and would have to like send his sitter to the vet. Like I really don't want to do that. I would love for this to be totally normal looking, pretty please by the time I'm leaving. So it means later today I get to go back to the vet and pick that up. But I'm at least glad that I now have an answer, and they weren't like, oh my god, that looks terrible, bring him in, his abdomen's gonna fall off, you know? So we like that. Anyway, so now I'm just waiting to hear from them that it's ready, and in the meantime, I'm just gonna continue working. This also does mean, yeah, yoga did not happen because yoga would have been like an hour ago. So that's not happening, but maybe if everything kind of is done and I feel like I'm in a good spot, maybe I will go tomorrow. I would just feel really good if I managed to still go 3 days this week, but I'm leaving room for that to not happen. Maybe if I'm feeling ambitious, maybe tomorrow. More takeout leftovers for lunch, and today we're watching Dear Shandy, one of my many bachelor podcasts. Copper, wanna go for a walk? Hi. Hi, donut head. You ready to get that off and go for a stroll? Okay. No, don't lick it. I know. That's why you have the donut on. Okay, it's been a little over an hour. Now we make a tea and we thaw it out. I figured instead of going straight back to work, I would spend like 15 minutes just getting myself like ready to do my filming later that I forgot that I was supposed to do yesterday. So this way I can just finish work. And I think I'm gonna film the segment in my office anyway, because it kind of makes sense thematically for the sponsorship. So this way when I'm done work, I am just like ready to set up my camera and start filming. All right, it's 3 p.m. I'm done my work quota because I didn't go to yoga today, so I'm ahead of schedule. I still haven't gotten the notice yet from the vet. Waiting on that still. I'm thinking in the meantime, it's time to do some sponsor filming. So I'm gonna go get my camera, as in this, my phone, set up for that. This is my little selfie cam thing on the back of my phone that lets me see what I'm filming. Okay, I did it. I recorded my sponsor portion and, well, I recorded the talking head portion. Now I need to move my camera and record B-roll footage. But I mean, that part only took me like 7 minutes because I already had it all scripted. So that was easy. And now I just need to move my camera. Okay, I finished filming and then I got word that the vet is ready for me to pick up Copper stuff. So off to get our errand over with, thankfully, and then I can just focus on video stuff for the rest of the night. Okay, we're back. Copper tolerated me putting his ointment on and it's only 4:30, but I'm hungry. I think I'm just gonna do dinner early. I'm gonna heat up some enchilada leftovers from yesterday. I am just living off the leftovers right now because my boyfriend is away for a few days and he's usually the one who feeds me, keeps me alive like I'm a hamster. I do not like cooking at all, so I'm very excited to have all these leftovers, and especially when they're Graham's enchiladas.
Things that I don't like about it is the fit of that top, but what I do really like is how lightweight it is.
You're very cute, but it's not for you. Good try though.
All right, it is 4:53. I think it's time to make some tea and settle in for a lot of video work. I kind of have no idea how long this is gonna take. I don't even want to like make an estimate. Like, it could be not a lot. It could be like me up late tonight. I don't know. But my goal is to get all of my YouTube stuff done today so that tomorrow the only thing I need to think about is just like getting the house in shape, because it's become a disaster in the last couple weeks because of the rest of life being mayhem, and that's kind of what fell to the wayside. So hopefully tomorrow I just have to make this a nice place to come back to, and I'll get everything YouTube related done today.
And now to settle into my corner where I plan to be for the next several hours working on video stuff. Hi, Copper. Are you gonna snuggle? Or are you gonna run away as soon as I sit down beside you? Yeah, probably that one.
Name a better Christmas song.
Okay, it is 5:53 and we are exporting my everything I knit this year with the new segments added in. So that's gonna finish exporting. I'm gonna pop it into YouTube to get started on uploading and processing, where it's gonna generate transcript. I've already reviewed the transcripts for most of this video, but not the new segments, obviously, because they didn't exist. So once that auto transcript appears, I will copy the part for those two sections and just review that, and then pop the reviewed version into my final transcript file, and then paste it in, and then get this one queued up and ready to go. So while this finishes that, what can I do? Because so while this is exporting, I can't like be editing the other video because Premiere can't do other things while it's doing this. So what can I do? Let's go to my magic status board. So I've edited my last items and not transcripted them. That's what I'm waiting on. This one, oh, I can check this off because I did record my sponsor segment. And then I just need to transcript that also after I edit it together. We might be stuck, Copper. I know, that is too bad.
I just realized I know what I need to do. I need to do the dishes. Oh, that's not what I want to do right now, but that would be the smart use of my time. So I'm gonna go put Knit Hooray back on and do some dishes. Just sat back down after finishing dishes and my export is complete. Good timing. So I'm going to upload that and get started on editing the sponsor portion for the last video, the ranking all my knits video. Okay, and starting to edit this footage, I'm reminded that there's one more B-roll that I wanted to get to incorporate into the footage, which I only remembered when I got to the part of the footage where I was thinking like, oh, this is where I would put the B-roll over. So that means I need to get my knitting out because I need to shoot a B-roll for a sec. Okay, I'm done creating my sponsor portion. Hooray. So that's the big thing for this video, but I also just have a bunch of notes of when I was doing my transcript review on the rest of the video previously. Just a bunch of little things that I wasn't happy with how they seemed when I was like watching the video through. So I'm gonna go back and try to make all those little edits. Hopefully they don't take too long. The main one that I need to think about is what I already mentioned about like needing to in some way highlight the new things that are popping up on the graph more. So I need to give that some thought, and hopefully that doesn't take me too long to do whatever it is I decide I need to do. It's currently 7:19, so we're not doing too bad. The other video, the Everything I Knit This Year, has uploaded.
Has it generated subtitles yet? Edit subtitles? Yes. Okay, sweet. So I can go in and copy this into my Word document, find the section that's just the new segments, and review that transcript. So do I do this now? I think I'm gonna stick with editing the other video for a bit so that I can get it uploading, and then while it's uploading and processing, then I will review this transcript just to be using my time wisely. All right, my snack break is giving girl dinner. Okay, it's 8:13, my video is exporting, so now I'm gonna go back and review the transcript on the other video while I wait for this to do its thing. have my full subtitles. So I'm gonna copy those. I'm gonna go into edit the auto-generated ones, paste in my replacement ones. And there we go. Subtitles good to go. Now I just have to pop in all my metadata, which I already have drafted out. I just need to input everything in here. And then this will be scheduled. I need to do the part where I add in links and stuff like that during the video, and also the links on my end screen. So like there's a point in this video where I mention my mock-ups video. So I need to find that video. I have it in my notes that it was at 29:06. But that was before I did a bunch of editing.
I do mock-ups to try to plan my future knits, but even with that, I was like,
there it is.
Okay, now I'm a little bit stuck again, waiting for that export to finish, because the only last things that I need to do on my Everything I Knit This Year video is getting the final timestamps for all the different video chapters and figuring out the placements for the ads, because YouTube can place them automatically, but I have been finding that it doesn't do a good job and puts them in very interruptive places. And so I've been going through and figuring out manually where they should fit in, which also takes not like a lot of time, but not no time. But by far the easiest way to do both of these timestamp related things is to do it in Premiere, where I can easily just flip from like segment to segment and see what the time code is. But I can't do that again while the other video is exporting. So I should be done exporting in like a couple minutes. I'm just like, come on, I would like to get this done. I would like to go take a shower. I would like to crash. But we must wait.
All right, I complained and it was ready. Ta-da! So we're gonna start uploading that so that it will start generating its transcripts. And in the meantime, pop back to Everything I Knit This Year to finish up its metadata. Close out this video. Reopen this video. Okay, so see how I can really quickly just flip between the segments so I can see when each one starts, which makes it much easier to find the time codes for my chapters. Okay, we did it. This one is officially scheduled, ready to go, which means I'm gonna go over to my little board. I'm gonna check it off, delete our little to-do list, and this is officially on deck. Now, I already did the sponsor transcript, so all of this stuff is done, and now I just need to let it finish uploading, do all its little pasting stuff in and doing all my little YouTube backend settings, and then we will be done. So while I wait for that one to finish uploading on YouTube and to generate the transcript for the new portion of that video, since Premiere is now unoccupied, I don't have yet another video I have to export, thank God. I'm gonna go in and grab those timestamps for the chapters and the ad breaks. So then when it's finally finished processing and doing my transcript and everything, I'll have everything I need to just paste everything in and we'll be done. So close, I can taste it, but it's 9 p.m. So I'm like, I ideally want to be like getting ready for bed at 10 p.m. Will that happen? Really just TBD on how fast YouTube does the processing stuff. Might have to like take a shower break while I wait for that to happen, but I would really rather do that knowing all my work is done. Cross your fingers for me that YouTube cooperates. All right, it's 9:27 and the only thing I've got left to do is review that transcript, but YouTube is still saying that it needs another like 45 minutes to finish generating it. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to pull the transcript from Adobe Premiere, which also creates one, and it's already ready. It doesn't do as good of a job as YouTube. It's not as smart. It makes more weird mistakes. But since the only thing I have to review is like a 1 minute long sponsor segment, it won't take me long. It'll be more than made up for by not having to wait for YouTube to finish processing.
But first, I want to tell you about our sponsor for today's video. Okay, I'm in my office today because that's where I get stuff done, which is exactly what we're doing today with our sponsor.
Okay, they're both in.
So the second one is not scheduled, it's unlisted, because that actual upload is not going to be the one that goes live because the sponsor still needs to give me the QR code to go in the video. So that I'm gonna have to pop in later, and you can't just like replace the video file on YouTube when you've gone in and put in all the other metadata. You have to like start all over again with a fresh upload and re-put in all the metadata. So that one is not actually going to go live, so it's not scheduled, it's just unlisted, so the sponsor can preview it. And now I need to try to figure out Adobe Premiere on my phone so that I can pop in that QR code whenever they give it to me while I'm away and re-export and upload it, because it's not supposed to go live while I'm gone, but I will need to get the final version approved by the sponsor, and there aren't really enough business days to safely, reliably be able to do that between when I get home and when it goes live. So I need to figure out how to do it on a trip where I'm not bringing my laptop. Okay, I think I've officially hit the stall point because in order to test out this iPhone editing thing, I'm needing to wait for large files to sync to my iCloud so I can access it from my phone. So I think we're close enough. I think I'm gonna go shower, get ready for bed, and then we'll see if I feel like circling back to this today or if this becomes a tomorrow problem. I'd really like to get it done today though, but it is 9:48. Meet my super cute post-shower, no heat curl situation. Okay, so I think I've figured out the Adobe Premiere on the phone thing. I'm just waiting for some more files to sync, but basically good to go there. It's now 10:35. I'm kind of thinking I might try to do just a little bit of work because due to Copper's many medical excitements this week, I missed out on a couple hours of work on Tuesday, and I was kind of thinking that like I might be able to make that up today if just like wrapping up ended up taking extra time, and it only ended up taking like about half an hour of extra time. But I'm thinking, I mean, I'm not doing any more work this month because I'm going to be away until January, so maybe I should just spend the time getting my invoicing done. I won't send them yet because I send them at the beginning of each month, but at least that's one less thing I'll need to do when I get back. And that's a pretty like, it doesn't really feel like I'm working. It's pretty like mindless. I can just put on like knitting YouTube and poke away at that for an hour, and then I'll have vlogged another hour. So I might try doing that. It is a little bit later than I would ideally like to stay up, but also it's Friday night. Party, let's do our invoicing on a Friday night.
I have no idea what day it is. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just coming and... All right, that's it. I got my invoicing done. I'm going to put my phone on its charger here in the bathroom and read a little bit before bed. Probably, honestly, fall asleep very quickly. So, see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is 7:30. I've been up for about 15 minutes and I think I have to start cleaning my house. I need to do it both because I don't want to come back to a disaster, but also because Copper has a sitter living here with him the whole time that I'm gone. And the only thing grosser than your house being a mess is being in someone else's house that's a mess. So I need to get that sorted out. This is like, I need to both like tidy stuff, put stuff away, and I need to actually clean. How long will this take me? I have no idea. I just fear that if I like sit on the couch now and like take a slow start to my morning, that the couch will not let me go. So I kind of think I want to just get up and do things. Also, I woke up like on my own, no alarm, so I feel kind of like energized and ready to go. I don't always wake up this early on weekends, to be clear. I think I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna like put on a podcast or an audiobook or something, and I'm just gonna like putter around and find stuff that's not where it's supposed to be and put it where it's supposed to be. That feels like a low lift entry into the day. And at some point during the day today, I don't think I'm like totally out of the woods on video stuff. I would like to at some point just like put the videos on TV while I'm doing other stuff and let them play just to catch any, like because of some of the edits that I made after transcripting. I just want to make sure that I didn't like accidentally leave a chunk of like dead air in the middle of them, or like things got exported out of order or something. I just would like to put it on one more time so that I actually know what's going out to the world. So maybe that's the podcast I listen to. I don't want it to be. I've heard it too many times, but I don't know. At some point today that should happen. Good job. Here's some brush. You're out of the comb. You have to be trustworthy. Okay, I've moved laundry, washing everything before I go, including bedding and towels. I've also cleaned copper via brushing and nail trim. I've also been puttering around the house, putting things away as described. I submitted Copper's many vet invoices from this week to his insurance company. Yeah, I really, when I was getting pet insurance, I thought I was just getting it in case something like catastrophic happened, like he got like hit by a car and needed like $30,000 in surgery. Turns out just his seasonal allergies alone more than make it pay for itself. So my lack of financial ruin, brought to you by Trepanion. Also need to refill Copper's food supply for while I'm gone. Okay, now I'm making a bunch of soon-to-be frozen topples for Copper. Usually he gets one of these on most days. Just a blend of kibble and pure pureed pumpkin and a little bit of water to get it to blend. Super yummy. Try to film while doing these things. So I actually am making a double batch because I'm going to be away and I want Copper to be able to have his topples prepped for a sitter already. That means I'm gonna have to try to pour this mixture into a Ziploc bag. Place your bets now on whether I can do this without making a mess. I don't have high hopes. So far so good. I need to do one more blender run and then we'll see. And now it's Copper's favorite time of the day because he gets to lick the blender. Hang on, Becky. There you go. Have at it, make yourself a mess. Don't worry, Blendtec blenders have completely blunt blades, so it's totally safe. And also, this is the designated dog blender. Okay, it's 10:51, so I've been at this for like 3 hours, which both I'm like, oh my god, it's not even 11 yet. Yay, like that's so exciting. There's so much day left, but also, my god, how is this taking me 3 hours and I'm not done? But I do have some kind of like life admin-y stuff I need to get done, just like computer stuff before I go. So I think it's time for me to take a little bit of break, do that. I'm gonna make a tea and then I will get back up and do more vacuuming. Also, the whole time I've been listening to Matt Bernstein's podcast about Fruity, which if you've ever seen these like pink and blue graphics on Instagram, that's Matt. He has a podcast that's so good. It's such a good combination of like, it's talking about current issues in a really like analytical, very highly researched, very thoughtful way, but is also like funny. Like his personality is so good and his guests that he brings on are so good, and just that they make it feel not terrible to spend a lot of time really deep diving into terrible things that are going on. So I really like his podcast for that. I often put it on while I'm cleaning. The episodes are long. They're usually like at least an hour, often an hour and a half, or even closer to 2 hours sometimes. So it's really good like deep dive, and again, because they somehow can keep it like funny and lighthearted despite how very serious it is, it makes it easier for me to like press play on than some other things that are just more like straightforward news stuff that I really have to like brace myself for, you know, whereas Matt's is just more like, feels like I'm hanging out with my friends who share similar views of the world to me, but who happen to have like citations for everything. It's so good.
Also, this is not really relevant except that it's a thing that's happening in my life in the last couple days, which is that overnight my iPhone updated to the new iOS that has the like liquid glass, whatever we're gonna call that abomination. I hate it with the fire of 1,000 suns. So there's a thing called skeuomorphism, which maybe if you didn't go to design school, maybe that's not a word most people know. I don't know, but it's the idea of designing something like in the digital space to look like the physical thing. So like when we first had computers, so much of the way that they're set up is skeuomorphic to reflect the physical office world, right? This was a way to get people to like understand what it was and how it worked and how they could use it. So think, for example, of the way that on your computer, there's the part that's called the desktop. That's completely arbitrary, right? That could have been called anything, but we called it a desktop so that people who are used to working at desks would understand. This is just where you put stuff, right? And then on your desktop, you can have folders and you put things in folders, right? Folders, there's nothing innate about computers that requires them to work with folders, and the same with files that go in the folders, right? That's all a fundamentally like skeuomorphic structure reflecting the office world. So when technology was new, skeuomorphic design also applied in the aesthetic sense made a lot of sense as a way to help people understand what this was and to transition. Like think about how in the early iPhone days, a lot of the app stuff had like textures on it, right? The notepad had kind of like a papery texture on it. And there were just all these things to try to make it look like real physical objects. And then over time, as we became more comfortable with technology and more people were just growing up with it and it was just second nature, we stripped those things away, right? And we ended up in an era of what was called like flat design. And somehow we're back in this weird skeuomorphic, but like not even in a way that makes sense because like we were never working at desks all made of glass. So I don't understand why we're now doing skeuomorphic glass. It just feels very dated to me because we were doing this when technology was new. It's like it's trying to make it look like, you know how in like the 90s, if a movie was trying to like show something to look like sci-fi or high tech, it would be like their monitor is like somehow see-through and you can see it from both sides. As if that would be useful, then text on the back isn't just backwards. But it's like they're trying to make it look like that. And also it's just a nightmare. Like it just looks so unclean and needlessly busy and harder to see. Like this is what the time looks like now on my phone. Why? So really killing the designer in my brain, which is so much of my brain. I'm so not happy about it. I found like a couple settings that you can adjust to like modify it to just like increase the contrast. So for like accessibility purposes, but I still think it's a nightmare for accessibility even with that turned on. And with my concern not being accessibility, but just like what horrible things my eyeballs are currently having to look at, it's not affecting any of those at all. It's still making it just as ugly and I have not made peace with it. Maybe in time. Checked in for my flight, hooray. Okay, it's 12:30. Got all my computer stuff done. It's time to get back at all my housework. Gross. I was just looking at my list of things left to do and I'm like, how are there still so many things? Like I spent so many hours. Like now I need to put away the laundry that I did. I need to make all the beds with all the washed bedding, which is such a pain in the butt. What else do I need to? I need to take out the garbage. I need to finish vacuuming. I need to finish like the last bits of packing that are like the kind of stuff you can't pack until like the very last moment. I've had most of my packing done since last weekend, but you know, there's always straggler things you need in everyday life that you can't just pack away. And then I have one more little errand to run. And then I'm hoping at some point later today to just do some yoga at home because the only options for classes today were either like way too early for Saturday or the kinds of classes that I don't like. And normally I would not at all trust myself to do at-home yoga, but I do kind of have faith that because I've said this in this video, that may function as accountability to make me actually do it. So we'll see. Wish me luck. Currently, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is finish my vacuuming and then start working my way through the rest of the checklist.
What do you think, Bucky? Why is there so much housework, including I need to get rid of these flowers? But here's the problem. I am given nice flowers and it's so lovely. And then I just stop paying attention to them once they're no longer lovely and they just continue to be there.
Also, obviously dusting that was something that needed to happen. Okay, time to go run my errand and maybe grab some sort of little treat for morale. That would be nice. Okay,
so I just got in, but I decided to stick my boba tea in the fridge because I think I'm actually gonna do my yoga now, so it's done. And like, okay, I'm not really thinking this is gonna be as much of like real exercise as it usually is when I go to yoga class, because I don't think I really have the ability to like make myself stay in a chair pose for any significant amount of time without an instructor telling me to. But I will do something, I'll be stretching, I'll be moving, and I feel like that is significantly better than doing nothing. See how it goes. This is also going to be me attempting to like leave myself in yoga, which I do not usually do. But I don't know, I feel like I've maybe not gone to enough classes that I would like to start that instead of putting on like a yoga with Adrian, like I usually would have. Now I'm realizing that like I was like, oh, this feels like a natural sequence of things to do. I try to remember what I did to do it on the other side. I see why sometimes the instructor's like, oh no, I forgot to do this on the other side. I see how it happens. Wish me luck. We did it. That was a whole half hour. I feel pretty good with that. I mean, like, was it as like natural of a flow from thing to thing as it is with like a real instructor? No. I did kind of feel like I was making it up as I went, because I was like patchworking it together. So not like the most flowy class, but I think I covered a lot of bases, and I kept doing it longer than I thought. It might be really hard for me to come up with more than like 2 minutes of things to do, so pretty happy about that. Boba time. Hi, I'm surprised you didn't come crash yoga. Yeah. Oh, is that a good spot in your ear? Oh yeah. Okay, you know you're on a real deep clean spree when you suddenly break out the robot floor mop that truthfully I haven't set up since I moved into this house a few years ago. I used it in my condo a lot, and I have suddenly brought it back to life because it's suddenly that thing where everything I see in the house, I'm like, now that I'm doing this, you're dirtier than I realized you were. Do you remember that guy? It's been a while since you've seen that guy. Are you concerned, or is he okay? You're just gonna keep an eye on him? Okay. Okay, I think now I've got my boba tea. Maybe I'll go put away some laundry and like watch aka Nora Knits video that came out this morning. I feel like it's not really a break from getting stuff done, but it'll feel like a break because I get to sit down and I get to watch YouTube. Okay, let's do this. Oh, are you here to help? Yeah, I'm sure you'll be very helpful in climbing all over the clean laundry. Nora's here to be helpful. Copper, I'm less sure. Copper, I just heard the robot mop sing a little song that sounded kind of distressed. I think we better go see if it needs help. Here you go. What? What are you distressed about? You're in the middle of the floor. You're not lost. What? Are you... Do you think you're done? I mean, you did a great job over here, but like you missed half the room. Okay. Let's try to relocate you. What if I put you here and tell you to mop? Or are you out of battery? Is that your problem? No? Okay. Okay. Godspeed to you, little buddy. What? Why? Why are you singing this song again? Are you out of battery? Are you out of water? Is that the problem?
Let's see. Oh, maybe. Okay, let's see if you're happier if I refill you. All right, try again. All right. What? Why? Why? Oh, now your power light is glowing. Maybe you do have a low battery. Okay, let us charge you. I don't know if charging this with the water thingy on is a bad idea or not. I'm gonna take it off to be safe. It's been many years since I read that manual. All right, let's try this again.
Further ado, we should go ahead and dive on in.
And my assistant is back, wasting no time. Wanna say hi? Wave.
To it, and I get compliments all the time when I'm wearing this sweater.
Dude, you're literally on the laundry now. What am I supposed to do with that? Look how happy you are. Why are you like this? Okay, dude, I'm gonna need to steal some of these things that are under you. You look very comfy. Okay, I'll put away the other stuff first. Sneeze away.
Okay, laundry is done, which means we have just a few things left on the to-do list, including making the beds with the washed bedding, painting my toenails because I realized while I was doing yoga that I would really like to do that before I go to a place where for part of it I'm going to be in a place that is warm and I might be wearing flip-flops, and I need to do the last of my like squeezing those last minute packing items in. And the last thing on my to-do list is watch Heated Rivalry. I'm hoping to have some time at the end of the day once I'm done everything to just chill, knit, and maybe watch some TV that's been highly recommended by like just about everything I've been seeing in the last 2 weeks. And I'm behind. I need to catch up. Also, just remember that I'm supposed to be rewatching my videos at some point. When am I doing that? Do I put this on while I'm making... I mean, it's not going to take me 3 hours. That's the problem. It's like over 3 hours of content because one of them is literally the length of a feature-length film. When am I reviewing these? Maybe, okay, I'll put one on while I do this and we'll see how it goes. Your silly shaved belly. It's so sad. It's so sad, pet me. It's so sad.
I'm still watching myself over here. Okay, your buddy is beeping again. Where are you? Okay, what's up? What is it? Are you out of water again? Yes, okay. Okay, you still haven't made it over into the library. How about you go over here? Oh, and now you think you're low on battery too. Guess I really just need to charge you overnight. I didn't think about using you today. I haven't used you in years. I'm sorry. Fine. Copper, close it. Close it. Good. Okay, May Day. I just went to pack my boyfriend's presents that I knit, and they were in a pile with all the stuff that I needed to pack, and there was one glove when I went to pack. So where did the other glove go in the glove coat cover? Well, I solved the mystery on one of them. So apparently I just dropped that. Where's the glove? Found the culprit. Apparently I just dropped them all on my way upstairs. Sounds like something I would do. Okay, now I need to determine how much yarn I can bring with me. And yes, this is a giant bag of snacks that my sister made each of us to bring on this trip. Do you think it's enough? Okay, I think I'm done. The only things left on my list are to paint my toenails and to watch Heated Rivalry.
So I imagine that as I wander around tonight, I will probably find other things that I wish to tidy or clean a little bit. You know, sometimes you just don't like notice things on the first pass, but then once you imagine someone else being in your house, you notice them. So I imagine I'm not like totally done for the day, but I'm mostly done for the day. Except again that I also need to finish watching my own videos. So I'm like 10 minutes away from the end of my everything that I knit this year, but then I have to go watch my ranking all my knits, which is the one that is a behemoth. So much to look forward to, but we're just do it there, and I think that means I'm allowed to go get my nail polish and flop on the couch now for the first time today, which it is like 4:51 p.m. Technically I flopped earlier when I was doing computer admin stuff, but it didn't feel like flopping, so I just do admin stuff, you know? Okay, so I just finished reviewing my everything I knit this year. I think it's time to put together some dinner, but because since we're going away, we've been trying to clear out the fridge. So I have a little bit of leftover enchiladas from yesterday, and I think I'm gonna fry a couple of eggs to have with it. I was thinking about doing eggs for breakfast this morning, and I was like, I don't have any bread to dip in it. What's the point? But I'm thinking maybe if I do eggs with the enchilada, maybe it can be like sort of like when you have an egg in like a rice or a noodle dish. Maybe it can be sort of like that vibe. Maybe it'll be super weird, we'll see. Okay, that's my splatter cover because I notoriously let my microwave become a disaster. Okay, so this is our enchiladas, and we're just gonna, are you ready? Are you ready, Eggy? All right, we're just gonna pretend that's a normal meal. Oh no, 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 no. Ha! Perfect. And while I eat that, Copper gets to eat his topple we made earlier. What's that? Good, Buggy. Here you go. Okay, you know what? This was actually brilliant. 10 out of 10. This is so good. I have no complaints. Okay, so it's 5:41 and I'm free. We have a little mop buddy going again. So I might have to shoot him around once in a while. I'm also getting to move bedding to the dryer when it's finished in the washer, but that I just need to make that bed tomorrow morning after I get up. And dishwasher's also running. I will need to empty that. Okay, so we're not free, but we only have little tiny things left, and we're free of everything that I can possibly do right now, which means I get to sit here. And according to my to-do list, that means I should start watching Heated Rivalry. But I realize that I kind of have a problem where I would want to knit while I'm doing that, and I kind of like, I have my knitting all like carefully packed, and I could work on my book club cardigan, but because I paused that to work on my Christmas knits, I would need to spend some time like reorienting myself with it, and to do that, to knit for one day just to put it down for 2.5 weeks and then have to reorient myself when I'm back, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't seem worth it. And also like I've kind of just been having fun filming all these little vloggy clips, and part of me just wants to dump them into Premiere and start cutting in and see what it looks like. So maybe I'll do that tonight instead of knitting, which is weird. If I had a project that was just at the perfect point, maybe, but yeah, my all good tea is packed for the plane. And also part of it, like I could get it out, like it's not packed in a way that's difficult to get out. The whole point is that I can access it while I'm in transit, but because I haven't started it yet, like I did my gauge swatch and that's it, I kind of just have it in my head that I like the idea of like just casting it on like at the airport, like at the very beginning of the trip, starting the project and just like seeing how much I get done while I'm there. That just seems fun to me. So I think I'm just gonna leave it and maybe do some editing, hang out with Copper, have a nice relaxing rest of my night before I have to get up at an ungodly hour tomorrow morning. We did all the stuff, all the YouTube is done, barring that I still need to listen to that video. I just don't want to. I've just already watched it so many times. Can I just leave it? I mean, worst case scenario, that's the one that doesn't go up until a couple days after I'm home. So I could rewatch it when I'm home. Also, like, because I still have to pop in sponsor stuff once they send me their QR code, I could potentially choose. I'm just like making up excuses now. I shouldn't review it now.
How obnoxious will I find it if I put it on the TV while I'm editing new footage? As long as it's not too loud. Like, as long as it's there and I'll kind of be able to see if like the screen goes black for 30 seconds, you know, or like any weird things happen. Maybe I'll try it and see if it fries my brain too much.
Okay, so I've just been locked in on editing that video for the last several hours. It's now 9:58 p.m., but there's some apple pie in my fridge that won't still be good when I get back.
Oh no, guess I gotta eat it.
Maybe I'll have the rest of this for breakfast tomorrow.
I also realized that I don't really need to be in a rush to get to sleep at a good time, because while I do need to be up early, based on the time change, I'm flying to Tokyo, which is 14 hours ahead, and I land there at like 4 p.m. So I want to be like gearing down for the day when I get there, meaning I don't want to spend like most of the back end of that flight sleeping. That should be much wiser for me when I get on the second leg of my flight from Montreal to Tokyo around noon, if I actually try to sleep on like the first half of the flight, because that is like 2 a.m. in Tokyo, so that is when I should be asleep, which means there is incentive for me to stay up irresponsibly late tonight. However, not so irresponsibly late that I am like not functional at the airport tomorrow, because I do still need to get myself on 2 separate flights before I reach that point where I'm supposed to sleep. So I might stay up a little bit late, but I'm gonna try to keep it just like a reasonable, a functional alley amount. But also, like, the fact that I've been editing for several hours now, this is just so indicative of like the difference between doing YouTube when I want to and when I feel like it versus when I like have to on a certain timeline, because like I'm just excited to edit this vlog right now. It's just fun. It's a different format than I usually do. It's a lot of work. I definitely like, I'm not going to become a regular vlogger. It's so like invasive on your day, but it's fun once in a while, and so it's super fun cutting it together, and it's just what I want to be doing right now. So nice reminder that like I actually do like this thing, even if the last few weeks have been a bit not the most fun it's ever been.
What are you doing, dude?
Okay, it is 12:15, which is maybe later than I should be up right now. We will see tomorrow morning how much I regret that, but I actually cut this whole thing. Like, I'm gonna drop this last video clip in, and that'll be it for the day, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. So we got a lot of stuff done. I can't believe I cut this whole vlog. Like, after everything else I got done this weekend video wise, like you'd think I would be zonked, but again, like this one was just fun. Actually, let me see, how long is this? Because so I realized that like 4 hours of footage was misleading, because some of it was like the recording that I did for everything that I knit this year, and just things I was planning to like time lapse, like things that were way longer than they would ever be featured in the vlog itself. So if I pull in these clips, that puts us at, still not short, 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I probably need to do like some sort of like intro and outro when I get back to add to it, but this was a fun one. So thank you for coming along for the journey. It made it a little bit more fun for me, I think, to be documenting it in this way rather than just like living it. Like trying to figure out the like cinematography of going about my annoying chores today was a lot more fun than it would have been otherwise. So thank you for coming along.
Okay, we did it. That was the just whirlwind. That was me trying to get ready for that trip. I'm so glad that it's over. And I was so pleased while I was away to have the channel still chugging along, right? Not having to suffer the consequences of YouTube being grumpy. And also, truthfully, I'm so glad that I somehow managed to cut this whole vlog, I mean minus this part that I'm filming right now, that I had all of that cut before I left in that just absolute fever dream of my last like 5 hours that I had free at home. Because honestly, so on my normal schedule, if I hadn't had this video basically already done because of that, I would have had to film it last weekend when I'd only been home a couple days. And based on the amount of human I have not felt like for the last several days, I'm so glad I didn't have to sit down and do a full like 3-hour recording session and edit all that from scratch. I just, having this bonus video surprisingly ready to go has been really nice and has let me, you know, when people get home, you often feel a sense of like, I need a vacation from my vacation. If your vacation wasn't in fact just like lounging around thing, but like an active trip exploring, going out and do stuff. I didn't get a vacation from my vacation in the full sense, but I did a little bit on the YouTube sense just to get to like extend that YouTube break a little bit longer because I had this pre-filmed. So super appreciate Past Me for whatever manic state brought that to us. So thank you to Past Me for that. I was actually shocked by how impacted by jet lag I was on the way home, in part because I historically haven't had a big issue with jet lag, but also I think the furthest I've gone is like 5 or 6 hours. So 12 hours to Vietnam is a much bigger jump. But also I was okay when I got there. You know, I was able to like stay up longer until it was the appropriate time to go to sleep. And you know, I didn't get like quite the normal amount of sleep necessarily each night, but like pretty good and decent, and I was functional while I was there, no problem. Oh my God, coming home was so different. I was like, well, I'll do the same thing. I'll just stay up like a day and a half, so it's like bedtime when I get home, and I'll be extra exhausted because I've been up for like 30 something hours. And so I crashed, no problem at bedtime, except that I woke up like 3 hours later. My brain was like, what a great nap. It's the middle of the day. That was a nap. We nap at this time of day. And trying to convince my body that it was allowed and in fact needed to stay unconscious for 8 straight hours in what it perceived to be the middle of the day, that took a few days. Some nights I was able to get back to sleep. One day I just woke up at 4 a.m. and that was it's just the time I'm up that day. There was nothing to be done about it. And even once I did successfully get back onto a normal sleep schedule, I was then just, I think, still dealing with like the sleep debt that I had accrued from those several days. And so I just been a zombie. And then you compound that with like going back to work in January is like always hard, I think, because we've had the holidays. So you've been off, you're out of the routine, you have no momentum, and everyone else is sort of getting like a slow start to the year. Some people are still on holidays, so my work also doesn't have the same urgency that it usually does. There's just not as much to juggle, and so it requires a lot more like internal motivation to stay on task and get something done when nothing like needs to get done today. So we're still adapting, very much so. So yes, very grateful to my past self for somehow magically getting another video basically done before I left so that I didn't have to do another one last weekend. Now, one thing from the vlogs that I want to circle back to is that I mentioned I kind of had this debacle with like sponsorship timing where I wasn't able to get all of the final details before I left. So I had planned out, okay, I'm gonna finish this on Premiere on my phone. I had downloaded Premiere. I had put the finished exported minus the like thing I would have to overlay for the sponsor. I had put that on my iCloud so I could access it from my phone, and I had downloaded it on my phones, like in my phone files on iCloud. It was downloaded onto the device so it would be able to be accessed offline, which was important because it's a big file. And I was like, don't know what the odds are that I would be able to download this where I'm going. I have no idea what to expect as far as what internet speeds are going to be available to me. Could be great, could be terrible, no idea. When I in fact received the final details from the sponsor that I needed to add in, we had a little bit of a hiccup there. So I went to open it in Premiere, and suddenly the file that I had downloaded into my iCloud, downloaded offline on this device, it was no longer downloaded. And I noticed when I was like poking around trying to figure out like, why do I need to download this again? What happened? I noticed that files that you have downloaded, if you like press and hold on them, you get the equivalent of like the right click menu. And one of the options is keep downloaded. So I guess somewhere in my settings, I must have it enabled that it's allowed to like boot off the device files that it doesn't think that I'm gonna need to like save space. So I guess it did that to my video file. My 55 gigabyte video file is now just back in the cloud, not on my device. I am in a part of Vietnam where I found the internet, like cell phone service, very funny and like unpredictable. Like the more rural a place I was in, the better the service was. Like nowhere did I have worse service than in Hanoi, which was like the biggest city with like the most tourists. Like on a lot of the trip that we saw like almost no foreigners at all. Like we were very novel in the places that we were, and fantastic service. People are FaceTiming constantly. I get to Hanoi, the most tourists that I see anywhere. Garbage service in so many of the places we were. So I found it very hard to predict what I was going to be able to access when. But when I was trying to do this, it was not good service. So I started and failed this download multiple times. It eventually did download finally, and that's a lot of data. So yay, great, downloaded it. Brought it into Premiere, made my edit. Oh, the export failed. Weird. Okay, let me just try it again. Failed. One more time. Let's try this again. Failed. So, no idea. I never did get to the bottom of this. I was not able to export the video from the mobile version of Premiere. So, thankfully, time zones meshed with my brain enough that I had been thinking that I was getting home on New Year's Day, but in fact, because of the time change, I was basically arriving at home on the same date at the same time as I was leaving from because the time change and the flight length were almost identical and working in the opposite ways. So it was like no time passed at all, which meant that I actually had an extra day for this thing to be reviewed by the sponsor when I just exported it like the night that I got home on my computer and sent it off. So thankfully I was able to get that approved on time. Didn't have to delay the video in order to get that approval. But yeah, that was super annoying. That was a big hiccup. And if I had really needed it to happen while I was away, that would have been a really large problem. I mean, I think if I had needed to, I would have made more certain that this plan was going to work. I would have done like a trial run and actually exported it. But yeah, just a super big pain. I don't know if it was just the size of the video, like if the mobile version of Premiere is just not equipped to handle hour-and-a-half long videos. Perhaps almost 2. I think that video was a behemoth. Sorry about that. Good to know that like mobile video editing, not super an option for me in the future unless I am able to figure out what was the problem with that and resolve it. But that was kind of an issue. Worked out okay, but don't recommend. And I do have some Vietnam yarn related things to discuss with you, but that's for another day. Next time I record, I'm going to do a just like regular project update, which we're so overdue for at this point because November and December have just been so much like special format episodes where we've had like winter knitting plans and everything I knit this year, and I was ranking all my knits because I was away and I needed a video out of time, and now we're doing this. So I have a lot to catch you up on, including a Vietnam yarn acquisition, so stay tuned for that. And I also would like to know we are very soon coming up on the time for the second annual How Much My Channel Made Me this year, and sort of like behind the scenes of the channel. So if you have any questions about the processes behind the channel, the finances of the channel, anything you would like to know about me having this here YouTube channel about knitting, let me know in the comments and I would love to answer some of those in that video. And if you'd like to be here next time, I hope you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already, but if you already have, you're my favorite, and I'll see you next time. Bye.